What's up, my friends? It's your friend Watchman Velador 83, and I'm coming at you with a new video. And today, I want to talk about worldwide events. I know we all know that this world is just going to hell in a handbasket. I know that a lot of things are happening right now that have been prophesied in the Bible. I know that with the volcanoes going around, wars and rumors of war, earthquakes, violence, etc., etc., etc. The world is just coming apart. But there's another thing that I want to talk about that has to do with it. But first of all, before I go over there and start my video, let's just say we need to know our enemy before we go into this battle. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Ephesians 6:12. Why am I saying that? Well, because I want to talk about the fallen angels. And I know there's a couple of videos of me talking about the fallen angels, but there's certain activities that have to do a lot with the fallen angels. And their plan, whatever they've been planning for thousands of years, it's finally coming to fruition. What am I talking about? Well, the thing I'm talking about is this whole UFO phenomenon, man. And this last few years, we've been seeing this ramp up a lot. It's been ramping up fast in this last 10 years. If you just go to YouTube and just do a simple UFO sighting search, you'll see thousands of videos of just UFOs. Of course, I know there's some fake UFO videos out there like Photoshop and all that stuff, but most of these videos are legit. I mean, nowadays we see the mainstream media talking about UFOs, everything that's been happening in the Pentagon, and even the Navy came out talking about this, and I had the video, I had the videos over there. Also, you just gotta do a simple search on the internet and you see what I'm talking about. But I know sometimes when you try to correlate modern events to however the Bible is, how the alien phenomenon, this whole thing with the aliens connects to the Bible, it gets a little tricky. It gets a little confusing. And I'm not saying I'm an expert in the Bible. I'm not saying that it is what it is. It has to have. I'm no expert. Nobody is. With the Word of God, nobody is. But I think I've been doing my due diligence in searching this subject, that, and even reading the Bible and how this fits, and this fits really well. And that's why I'm here. That's why I opened up this channel, because not a lot of people are awake to this kind of stuff, because a lot of churches don't talk about this. So even though my channel is not as big as other channels, because I know there's other channels that do great work, but if you're here, you probably want answers, and I'm here to try my best to give you answers. But let's start since the beginning. Let's start at the book of Genesis. And let's read on. Genesis 6. And it came to pass, when man began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, the sons of God saw the daughters of men that they were fair, and they took them wives of all they chose. And the Lord said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants in the earth in those days. But we'll address the giants later. And also after that, when the sons of men came into the daughters of men, they bare children to them. The same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that very imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. Why am I talking about evil continually? The giants, that's the evil part of it. I mean, don't get me wrong, the fallen angels were evil, but I'm going to do a second part to this video, which is going to be totally focusing on the giants. If you want a little bit more detail about what happened on Genesis 6, which they don't give you much detail in this chapter and on these few verses, it does not give you any good details. But I encourage you to go ahead and purchase the book of Enoch, the book of Giants, and the book of Jasher. It will give you more detailed information about what God meant when he said evil continually. All the stuff that the fallen angels were doing was some pretty wicked stuff. The mixing of species. I mean, you'll see if you purchase these books. Which I'm gonna talk about this when I do the video on the giants. But if you knew, a lot of ancient civilizations, they used to worship and talked about gods that came from the heavens. Fallen angels fell from heaven, but all the civilizations talked about gods that fell from heaven. Gods that they were worshipped as gods, even though they were not gods, they were worshipped as gods. But these so-called gods, when they fell to the earth, they taught men a lot of wicked stuff. They taught men war. They taught men human sacrifice, cannibalism, how to build weapons, how to do poisons, drugs, witchcraft. I mean, every wicked thing that you can think of, these fallen angels taught men how to do. That's why God had no choice but to do his big old judgment on the world. That's why he created the flood. That's why he made the flood. Because if you read the verse in Genesis, God said the world was full of wickedness. Every single creature that was in this world was just an abomination. Chimeras, I mean, mixed species. I mean, people were just doing some really bad stuff. And God has no choice but, to create the flood and wipe them all out. After God wiped out all these evil abominations from the world, he judged the angels, and he put the angels in the bottomless pit, the abyss, Tartarus, hell, whatever you want to call it, and they're there right now. Let's jump to now. The angels are right now, they're locked away. So they can't really do nothing right now. They're just locked away, they're in chains, they're chained, but they're still pretty powerful. How can they bring their agenda again? How can they bring it out again? Well, they manipulate human beings. How do they manipulate human beings? Well, we got this whole new thing. I mean, it's been happening for hundreds of years, but I think it's been more popular nowadays. It's channeling through this whole new age movement stuff, doing occult practices, even conjuring up demons, and either believe me or not, through technology. They've been using these things to communicate with humans so humans can do their dirty work for them. If you've been following my channel or this type of subjects, you already know who Jack Parsons is. If you don't know who Jack Parsons is, he was a really brilliant man. He was like, if you can call it, he was like the godfather of rocketry. He knew a lot about stuff about building rockets. You can say he was one of the godfathers of NASA. He was a really intelligent man. Also, he was really deep into the occult with Aleister Crowley and all that stuff. There's this rumor that he made this what do you call this practice? He made this, what do you call it? Man, the word is escaping me right now. He made this ritual called Babylon working, where he opened the door, a tiny door, where he channeled this entity, which this entity told him a lot of knowledge. Also, if you know about Werner von Braun, the mad scientist of the Nazis, which thanks to him, the Nazis had this military powerhouse, which, I mean, if it wasn't for the Allied forces, we would be speaking German right now. They asked him, how did you know so much? How did you come up with such ideas to build rockets, jets, advanced missiles, advanced military technology? His answer was, we had help. They asked him who? He didn't want to say what, but you already know what I'm talking about. But this was all happening between 1945 and 1947. If you investigate what happened during those 3 years, all the world events that happened during those 3 years, one of them being the Area 51 crash, which after that, there's been a lot of UFO activity going on over there. Why? Because they opened up a door. But that door was not big enough. So now they got to rely on CERN. There's been a guy, the director of security at CERN. He doesn't work there anymore, but he said that they wanted to actually open a door to another dimension because they want to send something through and they want to see what comes back. Ever since CERN has been opening up, we've been seeing a lot of UFO activity. And also check out that logo, which it has the 666. In my opinion, these are not UFOs. These are just demons saying that they're aliens. I think, we are now so modernized with technology. We are so modernized with our phones and everything that if somebody came up to you, oh my God, I saw a monster. Oh my God, I saw a ghost. Oh my God, I saw a dragon or an angel. People now in this world, they're like, really? Don't tell me those bedtime stories. They're not going to believe you. So these guys are so smart that they have to come up with a new name, with a new brand. And that's where the New Age comes about. This whole thing with the Ascended Masters, this whole thing with them trying to save humanity, they're gonna, once they show up, they're gonna say that no, Jesus was one of us, we created you, there's no God, you guys ourselves are gods, blah blah blah. They're gonna be doing this, and they're gonna be showing up as, and this little gray man, they're just our helpers. These little green men that you see, the grays or whatever, they're just our helpers. They're here to scout out the land, make sure everything is cool with you. But the real aliens, we are the real aliens. We are Ascended Masters. Our spirituality is bigger than y'all. Like, we transcended. You already know. If you listen to this New Age nonsense, you wouldn't know what I'm talking about. They're going to be coming to this world, bringing peace, love, and all that stuff. But that is not true. These are demons. These are not from other galaxies like the Pleiades or the Andromedas or whatever they want to call it. These are interdimensional beings with an agenda to steer humanity away from God. To steer us away from the love of God, having us to believe a lie, to believe that there's no God, He doesn't exist. But guess what? The Bible addresses this whole issue really well. But, like I'm saying, here it is. 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verses 14 through 15. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Therefore is no great thing if his ministers, the fallen angels, also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their words. They already know they're going to go to the bottomless pit. They already know they're going to be judged. They already know they're going to get thrown into the pit. They're going to be thrown into the lake of fire. But before that happens, they want to take as many humans as possible with them using this lie of aliens. But like I'm saying, the thing that frustrates me is that churches do not want to address this issue. They are afraid. I don't know why. They need to prepare their flocks. They need to prepare the sheep. The sheep. They need to prepare everything. Because once this comes, a lot of, your average Christian is not going to be ready for this. Once they show up, what's going to happen with their faith? When aliens show up and they bring this huge lie, what's going to happen with normal Christians? They're going to be steered away. They're going to be falling off, which is called the great apostasy. Hosea 4:6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. That thou shalt be no praise to me, seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children. Folks, we are living in some really, really tumultuous times. Since I said in the beginning of this book, of this video. Earthquakes, wars, rumors of wars, violence, evilness, wickedness, aliens, lying. The Bible couldn't be more correct about what's happening right now. And that's why I'm telling you. You need to pick yourself up a Bible. You need to start reading. And if your church, I'm not saying, I don't have nothing against churches. You need fellowship. You need to, go with a pastor and have them read you the Bible. But there's nothing wrong to create a discussion about this. There's nothing wrong. But it's also good for you to read the Bible by yourself and do investigation on yourself and everything that I say up in these videos. You know, because you need to have a really spiritual foundation for what's coming. Because it is coming, and it's coming like a freight train, people. You know, and like I said, not a lot of people are going to be ready for this. It's sad to see when I bring this stuff up. Not a lot. The people just give me this face like the deer staring at lights. And when I try to explain this, they just throw me like I'm crazy. You know, but it's okay. You know, at least I know I planted that seed in somebody. You know, at least I know I planted that seed, and hopefully it grows. And I hope I plant that seed in you, and I hope it grows. Give your heart to the Lord, ask for forgiveness, and accept Jesus Christ in your heart. Give a little click on the bell every time I upload a video. Also, if you like this type of content, please like, please share, please. And if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. May God bless you all. Peace.